new knowledge. But inference means we need one computer. That computer should think like an intelligence. How? In what form of intelligence? You want to create a new logic, which means a new computer. It wants to create any new logic. That logic based on old logic or some proof or some evidences. So if it is have the ability to create that proof or by keeping the old logic, now we can say that that computer is an intelligent computer. So that's called as an inference. So artificial intelligence wants to need an intelligent computer which can create a new logic from the old logic or by the evidences, or so it generates the conclusion from the evidence and the fact, which call it as an inferences. So I'll give an example for the inferences. But while he's having, he's showing his expressions. While having the food, he can able to show. Like his friend can able to go and observe what he's doing. So who is having the dishes now. So he don't need to tell whether it is tasty or it is salty, whatever. By showing his expressions, that his friend can able to understand what's happening in the dishes and all. So that is one way of the inferences. So by keeping his facial expression or by keeping it the logic, so he can able to create a new logic or a new conclusions. So based on that, the artificial intelligence computers can able to do. So this one we call it as inferences. So inference means an intelligent computer will create a new logic. How will we create a new logic? Then contradictions. We are going to represent those discrete syntaxes, math syntax, to represent the real world in the computers. So it's having some rules, inference rules, the understanding, creating a new logic, or the predictions. Okay. So here the inference rules are the templates for generating the valid arguments. Templates present some rules and regulations already predefined for some set of problems. So that's what we call it as a templates. And inference rules are applied to some derived proof in artificial intelligence. So there are a lot of rules and regulations. So as an intelligent computer, it uses that in all the processes with the artificial intelligence, and it will have a lot of proof in the sequences so that it can bring a new conclusion by having the old problem or evidences or some proof of information. So that what we call it as an inference rule. So one of the inference main we can able to classify it to 4 types. The first one, implications. So implication means it is a logical connectivities which can be represented as P implies Q. So then we can call it as a Boolean expression. So implication means it's one of the logical connectives which can be represented as the P implies Q. So it is one of the rules of inferences. But we call it as an implication. The second one is converse. The converse means the reverse of the implication. So to converse this implication, which means the right hand side, the P implies Q. Now we can go from the right side to the left side, Q to P. So that we call it as a converse. That means the right hand side proposition goes to the left hand side and vice versa. It can be written as Q applies P, implies it. So this implication is considered the rules of inferences. The P implies Q, that is called implication. The converse of the implication means the Q implies the P. So that we call it as a converse. And the next one, contropositive. Contropositive means so the negation of this converse. So whatever we have in converse, the negation of the converse is termed as contropositive, and it can be represented as the not Q that implies the not P. So that we call it as a contropositive. What do you mean by implications? The P implies Q from the left to the right then we call it as implication. Second, converse from the right side. The not Q implies P